Torbs, how are
What's up,
you?
man? How are you?
Good to have you on the show here.
Great to be here, man.
Where are you calling from?
So I'm calling in from Oslo, Norway, where I'm
All
from.
right. How is the
Yeah.
weather there? Is it getting warm too?
Yeah, believe it or not, the snow is actually melting in Norway. So the polar bears are gradually walking away from the streets, so we can go out and it's
That's
walk
good to
safe.
hear.
Yeah.
Dude, again, it's good to have you here. It's been a while since we last talked. I think it's
Sure.
6 months ago or so when we connected, and we actually did a live already. Do you remember? We did it
Yeah, man.
over on Instagram.
Yeah.
It was when I still had my account.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that stuff.
Yeah,
That
dude,
sucks.
it happens.
Yeah.
We talked about training, nutrition, mindset. Back then, I have to admit, I thought you were just a coach that offers his service online as well as offline. And then when we went back and forth on Instagram in our private messages, I figured out that you do so much more. That like I
Yeah.
knew you're having your book out already, but then you told me that you actually had a part in a movie, that you also are the co-founder of a platform for trainers.
Yeah,
Like
man.
so many things going on. Let's talk about that quickly, about the part in this movie. What is this about?
Oh yeah, so it's a movie that's coming out on Netflix
That's awesome.
this fall, where I'm playing security guard of the prime minister, and there is a troll attacking Norway. So in Norway we have trolls, and it's like they're boring a tunnel, and they awaken a troll, and that troll wants to destroy all of Norway. So the prime minister had to figure out how to solve this
Epic
troll, and
quid.
I'm always there, with my gun.
Dude, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
when can I see that?
Uh, I don't know when it's out,
You don't
but
know.
it's actually the most expensive movie ever produced in Norway.
Really?
So we don't produce many expensive movies, but
What's the
that's
name?
what
Can you share that, or is that confidential?
it's Troll. So we keep
Troll.
we keep it simple up in Norway. Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. How did you get this role? Let me ask.
Well, I've always been like into acting, so doing like small parts here and there. And sometimes, they call me and say, "Hey, we got this little role for you."
Mm.
And sometimes, it's a bigger part. But yeah, I'm always up for that kind of stuff.
But did you go to like actor school or something like that, or is it just like natural to you?
Yeah, well, so no official training for that. It's
Okay,
just yeah, starting
cool,
young.
man. That's exciting. Super cool.
Yeah.
And then I actually found on Instagram too that you're now the co-founder of a platform for coaches. What is this about? Like 30 seconds. Give me that elevator pitch.
Yeah, so it's Bino Training. It's called. It's a global platform for live one-to-one personal training, where we recruit the best personal trainers in developing countries. That's training people here in Norway, primarily companies, one-to-one over a video.
Mhm.
So that way, you get personal training at the cost like one fourth of the normal price of a personal trainer. At the same time, you're creating jobs for people in developing countries.
Yeah,
Like, for example, our trainers now are in Malawi and soon Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa. So yeah, it's
that's
personal
pretty
training
cool.
on a subscription, while you're also creating jobs and opportunities for people in less developed countries in the world. So yeah,
Pretty damn cool.
yeah.
Congrats, man. That's amazing for real.
Yeah. So
You're doing so many things. Let me ask you, what motivates you to do all that?
well, I don't know. I have always had like a passion for creating stuff. So I started off as a business consultant, like doing really boring stuff, and I figured out this is not what I want to do with my life. So I started, pivoting into fitness coaching, and did that for a little bit of time. And then for the past 6 months now, I've been gradually turning that into or becoming like a full-time entrepreneur. That in that sense, hiring on people, hiring on trainers, raising capital, getting clients, etc. So yeah, it's kind of like an inborn passion for trying to create something, doing something more. So
cool.
Yeah, it's
just you're also huge on self-improvement. Like I can tell from your posts and from your videos. We certainly share this. What is your big why, if I may ask?
For
like you like to create, just like improve yourself. Do you have like a why you're actually all do that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe some people are just born with a little bit more drive. So yeah, maybe I grew up with parents that was like, my father was a psychologist and my mom was like super into like reading self-help material. So kind of from a young age, I also figured out I want to do something great with my life. Reading all the books about like self-improvement. But where I think it's also like an inborn drive to be creative, do something.
Thanks so as well.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you, where do you get all this energy from to do all this? I mean, most people are overwhelmed when they have like one job and you're having all these gigs and so many things going on. Where do you get the energy from?
Well, it definitely helps, being in a regular training routine, getting enough sleep, eating good, meditation also helps. And also, if you're doing something that you're really passionate about, that kind of fuels you when you are kind of trying to realize something and ideally really want to achieve. So, for example, if you asked me when I had like my corporate job, like in management consulting, and I didn't really love my job, I didn't have that much energy. But when I'm doing stuff I'm really passionate about, it kind of fuels you. And you combine that with
absolutely
taking care of your body and your mental health, you kind of like get a lot of natural energy.
I can resonate. Like for me, it's the same. I used to work in IT. I did probably good job, did my things, but now it's entire other level, right? When you work for yourself and have your own projects, it's completely different. You addressed or mentioned before your diet and your workout, and I want to speak about it in a second. But before that, I want to speak or ask you why you actually got into fitness in the first place. Like you were like a business consultant, right? And then what made you start?
Man, that's a good question. So I think I've always been like interested in strength training, and there was maybe 10 years ago, my lower back like completely gave up on me. So I was struck with a back pain that was so intense that I could literally only lie on the floor. So for like 6 months, I could barely sit in a chair. And exercise was impossible. And all the doctors and physiotherapists and chiropractors told me that they couldn't do anything about my non-specific back pain. And eventually,
this was from an injury, or how did that happen?
Maybe it's chronic. It's maybe usually when you have back pain, it's many factors working together. It's probably many factors. But they eventually just told me that you have to stop training, stop lifting, give up, fitness, because we can't fix this back, and you're gonna injure yourself more. Obviously I couldn't accept that reality. So it kind of dawned upon me that since nobody knows my body better, than myself, since I'm stuck with my body 24/7 for the rest of my life, I then have the potential to, when fully educated, become my own best therapist. So instead of waiting for someone else to find a solution for my back, I figured out I need to figure out how my body works so I could fix it myself.
So how do you do that?
I really dedicated myself to learning as much as possible about anatomy, physiology, preventive exercise, stretching, meditation, even, and that kind of gave me, like, literally gave me the solution to get back on my feet, and also a full personal trainer education and certification. So, I kind of figured out the underlying drivers for my back pain and how my favorite exercises could be modified to avoid back pain, how a strengthened core could support and relieve the spine, and yeah, even how stress could trigger back pain. So how could I meditate to have less stress? And yeah, that eventually led me into coaching other people. So yeah, and
So
writing.
basically, the back pain is gone. Like, no more back
Well,
pain.
No, I don't think it's ever going to disappear completely. So if I sit for too long of a period at the same time, if I'm getting too stressed, if I'm lifting incorrectly or too much, it can always come back. So it's always trying to prevent it from firing up. So it's always going to be there, but as long as you have the correct daily routines, it's going to be under control.
Can you do, for example, deadlifts in the gym, or?
Yeah, I can. For a long period of time, I couldn't at all. But I mostly do a lot of modified lifts. So, for example, the back squats, I do front squats, and sometimes that doesn't work. So I do Bulgarian lunges, to keep my spine straight up and stuff like that. So yeah,
Makes sense.
I think a lot of people probably struggle with that.
Cool. And so now you're helping others with the same issue, or like in general, everyone who?
No, that's probably a good niche. People with back pain,
so.
But I don't want to only think about back pain because it kind of makes me depressed. So yeah, I'm primarily helping people, predominantly ambitious men in their 30s, getting lean, strong, and functionally fit by forming new habits and making fitness kind of an enjoyable part of people's lifestyle. And that comes through training, nutrition, recovery, movement, and mindset, like an integrated solution for that. So
it's funny because we're having pretty much the same niche, and I think it's just because we attract the same people that we are, basically, right? Like, I'm consider myself an entrepreneur. I'm like at this age that you just mentioned. I'm turning 30, so automatically I attract people in a similar position who are also entrepreneurs, business owners, and want to get fit. So I think just like, because you're a good role model too, even for me, you are, right? So if I wouldn't be in shape, I would probably come to you and ask you how they get in shape. So you're doing a great job for sure. I mean, again, you're doing so many things as a consultant, as a personal training too, or
pretty downscaled to focus on my new business, because that takes every waking hour, like raising capital, hiring people. But so my own coaching and my own brand has kind of like been a little bit on hold. But maybe it's coming back soon, hopefully.
Just because of the other project. So your website is under construction right now. Rebranding, or?
A little pivoting, you could say.
All right. So then one more. Acting. You're an author. You're having your own book. So you must be super busy, I imagine. How do you stay in shape? How do you stay in shape with so little time, or since you're so busy?
That's a good question. It kind of starts with the realization that as an entrepreneur, your body is kind of your business, and not taking care of your own body is a really bad business strategy. So you could give it up short term to get more time, but it will come back to you and lead to having less energy and getting less done.
Absolutely.
So yeah, in order to perform your best mentally, having that training routine, sleeping sufficiently, meditation, eating properly is really really key to staying in
Yeah.
balance. And
No.
and
No.
also I think if you're having a really bad day at work, but you go to the gym and clear your mind, and even you might have a PR that lifts you up. But if you don't have that, to like balance your workday, I think I
Getting
would go.
depressed.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude. That's 100% true. Like even with my clients, I see that like they come to me, they want to lose some body fat and get more muscular, but then what they realize after some weeks, even, that they have more energy and they are more productive and they feel better. And it's it's not about only about muscles and the body fat, right?
yeah.
That come into the body. How often do you work out?
Well, actually, I used to work out. I used to work out 6 or 7 days a week.
Oh wow.
But I actually took a test of my testosterone levels, and I realized that I was
Overtraining.
lower than average, actually.
Mm.
So that's when you really love exercising, it's easy to doing too much.
Yep. I can
Even
relate.
though you kind of know as a coach that this is not necessary, but
Uh-huh.
I like
Uh-huh.
doing it.
Yeah.
And I was also trying to stay kind of really lean year round.
Yep.
And if you're training too much and eating too little,
Yeah.
it really can affect your testosterone levels. So I figured out, let's really understand how I could increase my testosterone levels again, like above normal. So I had a project where I went down to 3 or 4 workouts per week.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
ate a lot more. I was not trying to be in like this perma cut, always trying to be super lean. I was doing a little bit of supplementation with vitamin D, for example,
Mhm.
and zinc. And after 6 weeks of training less, eating more, my testosterone was up 50%.
Oh wow.
50%.
That's huge.
Yeah, my doctor just
Naturally, right? That's huge.
yeah. And I realized that a lot of top athletes, they have their testosterone levels are actually below average because they're training too
They're
much,
so much. Yeah.
eating too little. So yeah, that's actually encouraging for people want to be an entrepreneur, that you don't have to exercise 7 times per week unless you're crazy. you,
Yeah. Yeah.
three times per week would be
You
sufficient.
don't
Yeah.
need to go ultra hard. I remember when I would work out 7 times per week, like you. Like at one point, I would also take blood and check my levels. And I don't remember testosterone, but I remember my stress levels were so high. And this was also for me. I said maybe 7 times a week, and always going hard is not the best way.
Mm.
So yeah, what difference could you notice in your physique since you made the switch from going 7 times per week to now 3 or 4 times per week?
Yeah, so I gained, I think, 2 kilos of muscle, lean muscle mass, 2 or 3. So that was probably mainly due to eating more, getting the calories up.
Mm.
But I could also feel a lot better, more like manly, I could say. Yeah, before I was kind of feeling a little bit depleted. Really didn't have the same drive, but the physical change was hands down. Yeah, eating more and training a little bit less, I actually my body was able to recover better, and I was actually building muscle
Yeah,
much easier
yeah,
than training 7 times per week and
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to stay super lean. Yeah.
Yeah. Training so much combined again with like a diet, very strict diet where you eat little, probably not the best combo. And it's funny because we as coaches, we should know better. But myself too, I've done it for a long time. Just wanted to be super lean all the time, and it was like training too much, eating too little.
Yeah, that's
So,
that's the value of having a coach, someone that looks at what you're doing
yeah, yeah,
objectively and say,
yeah,
hey man, what you're doing.
yeah,
So I would not have coached anyone to do what I was doing,
yeah,
like training
yeah,
that much.
yeah.
But I was mainly doing it because
Absolutely. Same here. Same here. That's
but
funny.
when I was like this coach was kind of looking at my program, and I was like, dude, why are you doing that much?
Mm,
You don't have to do that. Try doing a little bit less.
mm.
Yeah, man, that's true. I would never actually advise anyone to do what
Right.
the way
Yeah.
I'm training myself.
Yeah.
It's too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The same here. But when I switched from like 7 times all day, every day, go hard workout program to like 5 times a week, and five times is very good frequency for me, and it's going well with my daily schedule. I have enough time for family and stuff. It's working out really well. But it's super funny to hear that from you, and I didn't know your story about that. That's
I
really
think
cool.
most coaches do that stuff.
Yeah, probably. What is something that you do every single day for your fitness and health? Because you don't work out every single day, but I'm sure you're having some routines. You mentioned meditating. Uh, what is something you do no matter what every single day?
um, yeah. So I would as soon as I wake up, I would meditate for 20 minutes. It's something that I've been doing since I was 18, and now I'm 32. So it's I can really tell a difference in my focus, my
Mhm,
mood, my energy in periods I skip the meditation.
mhm,
So I don't think people, if you've never been into a consistent meditation routine, it's hard to realize what I'm talking about. But if you have, it's kind of like a fog that's clearing.
mhm,
So that the meditation I do every single morning. I used to do intermittent fasting daily, but now I'm trying to bulk up a little bit.
because you
Uh,
needed more calories, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to gain muscle and
Mm,
gain weight, it's
mm,
beneficial to add a meal, not skip
yep.
a meal.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So training 4 times a week usually. I usually prepare my meals every single day. I do a lot of meal prepping,
Mhm,
grocery shopping,
mhm.
stuff like that.
How does a regular meal look like? Let's say today for lunch. What was it?
Today was a chicken salad
Chicken
with
salad.
yeah.
It's not a
But
bulking meal though.
so it had whole grain pasta in it. So
Okay, okay, good. There we have the carbohydrates. All good.
yeah. So usually it would be like I start my first meal with oatmeal, and then it would be usually some beans, some eggs, and some vegetables, and then after my workout, I would have like a protein shake and a banana, and then for dinner it would be like chicken, some rice, and some vegetables.
Mhm,
Yeah. So
mhm.
trying to be up around 3,500 calories per day
Okay.
to
Do you track your calories or?
well, it's I use MyFitnessPal occasionally
Mhm.
if I deviate from my plan. So I always have like a plan. This is what I'm doing
No,
because
no.
it's takes out a lot of thinking.
Yeah,
But if I haven't tracked it in a while and I've been changing it up,
yeah.
I use MyFitnessPal like I use Google Maps. If I'm lost, I check Google Maps to see where I'm at.
Love it.
Okay, where should I go?
To
And if I
see.
know exactly where I'm at, and I'm eating probably the same portion sizes every single day, and your intuition, when you have been tracking your calories for many, many years, your intuition, you have
Mhm.
earned the right to not, track it like that methodically. But I always have like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I know what you mean. This is what happens if you track calories. Like after a while, you just know like this chicken breast is probably 150 grams and has like 25 grams of protein. So you know exactly
mm,
what is in there.
yeah.
Um, okay, cool. If you if you had to give 3 tips to a busy entrepreneur, because this is what I call the show here, the episode, 3 tips for busy entrepreneurs who want to get in shape, what would those 3 tips be?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, so the first thing I would say is to uh, get a realistic routine in place. So you have to get really clear on what you're actually going to do. For example, what is the meal plan? What is the training program? So a lot of people think like if you're a busy entrepreneur, you don't have time or motivation to stay in shape. But what you're really lacking is, the clarity. What you're gonna what are you gonna do actually?
Yeah, game plan.
Yeah. So start off with having like a meal plan that's tailored to you and your goal. It could have a lot of flexibility in it. You don't have to eat the same thing every single day, but have like a meal plan with approximate meal the portion sizes and when you're going to eat it, and the same with the training program. What's the training program? When you are going to train, and you get it into the calendar and you protect that time.
1%.
So it's like I read a study once where they asked what is the number one determinator that will increase the chance of you getting in shape or training consistently, and that is if you have a specific plan for when and where you are training. It takes out all of the guesswork. So am I going to train today? Am I feeling it today? I'm not feeling it today. Maybe tomorrow. So have a plan for when and where you are training and what you're going to do. So when you have that plan in place, you focus all your energy on executing that routine and not thinking about what should I eat today? How should I train today?
Basically having structure. And then what I tell my clients usually is to look at your calendar, see when we have spots to work out, then put it into your agenda, and then just handle it like a appointment at the doctor. Because if a friend or a coworker asks you, so can we meet at 5, and you have an appointment at the doctor, you will not say yes, you will not agree, right? So same with the workouts, just they are there in the calendar and they're non-negotiable. Just do it.
Yeah, and eventually that routine will become a habit. So everyone could hit the gym and eat healthy for a while, but what happens when you are not feeling it, when you're not motivated? It happens to everyone, of course. So what you're going to do then? You have to stick to that routine until it becomes a habit. And once that have become a habit, it's actually easier to just keep doing it than to figure out something else to do. Because we humans, we have like this inborn need to keep things the same. Either it's a good habit or a bad habit. So if it's a good habit, it's easier to just stick to that routine long term than to start doing something else. But obviously the same is true for bad habits. It's easier to just keep doing that. So when you are in that process of trying to break a bad habit and get into a new habit, that is the second tips I would say, is to avoid all the temptations. So when you're a busy entrepreneur, your work day could be really draining, and you got to realize that your willpower will be drained during the day the more you use it. So you start your day with like a full tank of willpower, and then during the day, we have a really tough meeting, everything goes, you drain your willpower, and then you see like a bag of cookies or chips. I'm going to snack that. I don't have willpower. Or no, I don't have the willpower to eat healthy. Or
that's why usually the bad snacking, the chocolate or the pizza or whatnot, is in the evening when this willpower is drained. And now you're there. Maybe you watch some Netflix and you see this martyr, like you said, the cookies. And when willpower is down, obviously you will get in and just eat it, right?
Yeah. So you got to like prepare a little bit in advance. So make sure that you don't have all these temptations really easily available. So if you're working from home, like a lot of people these days, and you have a lot of snacks, it's very easy to just go and snack a little bit. But if you don't have those temptations lying around you and you're not seeing it, you're not having those options. It's kind of hard to go down to the grocery store to get it. So you might,
it's like a barrier. It's literally just like out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah.
It's like this little barrier. You have to go out and get to the grocery store, come back, and no, that's a big enough barrier to not do it. Good advice. Love it.
And at the same time, you kind of have to make it easy for yourself to win by preparing healthy meal in advance. Having some meals in your refrigerator, so when you are hungry, it's easy to just grab some healthy stuff. When it's time to train, having the gym bag packed and making just easy to do the good habits and hard to do the bad habits by avoiding all those temptations.
So you're having structure in your diet and in your workouts, then avoid temptations. Get rid of all the cookies and stuff. What would be number 3?
So the third thing I would say is get accountable. So when you're trying to form these new habits, you have the routine in place, you have the temptations gone, but still having someone that is holding you accountable to sticking to your plan long enough for it to become a habit. You really need to get accountable from either yourself. So you could hold yourself accountable by tracking everything you do. So you track your progress and you try to lift a little bit more than last time. You're tracking what you're eating, and you're trying to not break the cycle of having a good diet in place every single day. But
I think it's possible, but it's very difficult.
It's possible, very difficult. So I think the most bulletproof way is to actually get a coach that is holding you accountable, because you can cheat on yourself, but if you have to cheat on yourself in front of someone else, it's kind of hard. So having an appointment with an online coach that's checking in with you, what you're eating, are you reaching your goals, are you training, or it could be like an in-person. If you're struggling to actually work out, having a coach like a personal trainer in a gym or a training buddy that you are letting down if you don't show up, that could be a good thing. But if you're not struggling really with getting to the gym, you just need more help on your diet. An online coach could definitely be equal as good. So having someone or something to hold you accountable, I think, is the last missing ingredient.
I think so. And now people might be thinking you have to say that because you are both coaches. But it's the truth. I believe in coaches. I have coaches, not right now, but beginning of the year I had a coach, and I had multiple coaches, obviously. Do you work currently with a coach?
Me now?
Yeah.
I actually worked with a coach for a little bit of a period, to really understand how little or how I should train and eat in order to naturally increase my testosterone.
That's the thing. I always say, even coaches need coaches exactly for that reason. It's the accountability, and I agree. Structure is very important. Having a plan is very important, and then accountability is probably what makes the biggest difference, in my opinion. So I love those tips. Very cool.
The list could be going on forever, but if I had to choose just 3, 4.
Those are 3 very good tips. So take notes, everyone. Those were very, very valuable. Thanks for that.
Great.
Cool. So I want to talk about your book quickly, because you're an author. You're having your own book. I'm writing one too, as you perhaps know. And to be completely honest, you inspired me also a little bit because I thought, okay, Torb says a book, and well, if he can do that, then I can do that too, right?
Yeah,
Without attacking you, but just a little
yeah,
bit of
yeah,
challenge, healthy challenge is
yeah.
important. I'm actually in the editing part, and I think it all comes down in the entire process of writing a book. It all comes down to one thing, which is discipline. Like exactly like in business, exactly like in fitness, it's the discipline.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. So writing a book is kind of like trying to get in shape. You
Right?
need to get into a writing habit.
Hmm.
So the hardest part for a lot of people when they're trying to write a book is to just sit down at the end of the day after a hard work day, open the computer and start typing.
Hmm.
But when you're starting to type, you realize that it's when you're in the flow of it, it's really easy. But the hard part is just sitting down
Sitting
and
down,
starting
start.
to
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
So getting
Yeah.
into that, the habit of just sitting down, open your computer, and start to type.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like going to the gym. So the hard part is actually going to the gym and do your first rep.
Yeah.
But when you have done your first rep, I'm in the
Yeah.
gym
I
now.
agree. I agree.
I can
100%.
do more
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So yeah, just doing that, the first initial 2 minutes of the habit, sitting down, opening the computer, and start
Hmm.
typing.
Hmm.
It's that's where the real
Yeah.
discipline is needed.
What has been your biggest struggle when you wrote your book?
Oh man, it's so discipline. Being able to do that like daily for maybe a year to get it to a point where I think it's like worthy of publishing
Publishing.
a physical book with my name on it and putting it in people's shelf forever. Like this is mine. This is me. This is my work. But yeah, so it's kind of like this imposter syndrome.
Mm.
So like, who am I to write a book? Other
Mm.
people know more than me. There
Uh,
are people with a
uh-huh.
PhD. They
Uh-huh.
haven't written a book. Why should I write a book?
Mm. Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
so
How did you overcome that?
well, it's imposter syndrome is something that it will always be there
Mm.
with you. You just you have to believe in yourself and don't be like a super perfectionist.
Mhm.
And it's kind of also this permission syndrome in our society, that since I don't have like a big publisher like giving me a permission to do something, I can't do it. But I I realized that I don't really need someone else's permission
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
this. I can just publish it, like I publish whatever, like a YouTube video or a blog post or
Mm.
something like that. So when I kind of realized that I don't need anyone else's permission to do
Permission.
stuff,
Mhm.
the imposter syndrome kind of goes a little bit away. But it will always stick with you, no matter the best writers in the world. They all
Mhm.
have this imposter syndrome. There's
Absolutely.
always someone better than you, so why should I do stuff? So yeah.
Love it. Cool.
Uh, yeah.
I
How,
plan
how,
actually. I
how,
plan to launch. Sorry.
how is your booking coming along? We're
So
waiting for it.
I wrote the first draft, right? Now I'm editing it, and I'm feeling kind of the same. I go over it, and I need to edit some things, and other parts like what did I wrote here? I need to rewrite everything. So I actually enjoyed the writing part more than now the editing part, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the process is the same. I just sit down every day for like 45 minutes or so and work on it. Then I plan to launch it in June of this year. So actually very soon. Maybe do you have a secret or something, an advice on how to market it to kind of make it a bestseller? Like, I mean, it will
Yeah.
be self-published like yours, but just like a tip for the launch.
Well, so what I painfully realized is that there is a big gap or a big difference between the best written book and the best selling
Mm.
books. So if you go to a library or a bookstore, it's you see the best selling books, not the best written books. It's not like a list for this is the best written books. They have the best selling books. So sales strategy is how are you going to sell it, who are you going to sell it to. And I think you're in a really good position because you have a pretty big audience of people that already trust you, that you could try to with email your audience. And if you are able to really pinpoint a problem within the niche you're trying to target, and your book and the cover and the marketing message really speak to them, I think it's a lot easier than if you're writing a book to kind of please everyone. Because if you're writing a book for everyone, nobody will
will resonate. I agree. And then the other stuff too, when you have the trust, then it's probably easier. So I certainly try to leverage also email and my following, although Instagram just made it a bit harder now with my blocked account. That's a pity.
Yeah.
Cool. Torbs, where can people find you? What's your website? What's your social media? Where are you most active also?
So you can find me on torbstraining.com. I'm just moving my content from one platform to another, so it's not that much content there right now. But on Instagram, Torbjrn Training, YouTube, Torbjrn Training, and I'm also mainly focusing on building this new company now. So I'm not producing that much content at the moment. But
the content is amazing. Like your YouTube content is fantastic, super high quality, much value there. So you're doing a great job. Congrats.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. You too, man.
Thanks. Try your best.
You had how many views did you had on your most viewed video? Like 2 million?
The most viewed video was actually the baby shark video with like 6 million views. So the video that took the least amount of time to produce, it was literally taking a notebook, recording the scene, and 6 million views. That's almost absurd.
I was checking out, when I first saw your content, I was thinking, this guy really cracked the YouTube algorithm,
Such a video. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy.
That's great.
Cool. Dude, it was really cool to have you here. Thanks a lot for doing this. I really appreciate your time, especially because I know how busy you are. Keep inspiring all of us. Keep inspiring me. Hopefully I get to speak to you soon again. Would be a pleasure.
I hope to stay in touch with you, and I'm waiting for a book. So keep it up.
You will get one for sure. You will get one. Cool.
All right.
Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
And talk to you very soon.
Thanks, man.
Good evening. Bye bye.
Bye bye.